Welcome to episode 2 of the Wine MVP podcast. This is your host, the NFL wine guy, Will Blackman, owner of the Wine MVP. I want to say thank you to those who downloaded episode 1. Had some really cool numbers, and thank you. I was so terrified to record that first one because you just wanted to go well, but I got a great response, and so here we are with the second go around. I always want to start the show off with what am I drinking? Well, right now I have some Chardonnay, 2018 Chardonnay from Trefethen Family Vineyards. Why am I having this? Why did I pick this? Well, for those who follow me on social media, you may have seen that I just came back from Napa. I went there and they hosted me. Shout out to Lorenzo Trefethen and Nicole for setting me up. But yeah, I went there because I actually had my Wset level 3 exam. Okay, let me tell you about this exam. This thing was a beast. Okay, you have a tasting portion, and you have a multiple choice section, then also a short written answer. The tasting wasn't bad. One was a Pinot, and the other, actually both Pinot Grigio and Pinot Noir. Multiple choice wasn't bad at all, but it's the short written answers. You have to literally lay out whatever they want. So if they want to know how Tokai is made, obviously you got to talk about ferment, noble rot. You got to go down the list. Same thing, carbonic maceration, any sparkling wine, tank method, whatever it is, champagne method. You got to list out everything, and it's a lot of points. And so that part was a beast. It's almost like, okay, multiple choice, they give you the definition and you got to find the word. In this case, they give you a word and you pretty much have to write the definition. So that's what made it challenging. How do I feel I did? I feel suspect about it. I'm nervous to the point where I'm actually kind of studying right now because I may have skimmed by, but there's a chance I may have not. So I'm just getting ready just in case I need to take it again. But yeah, it was awesome. Let me get into this though with Trefethen. I'm having this Chardonnay because Chardonnay is like a staple. It is their staple, right? It is pretty much what made them who they are. And just a quick backstory. After US won the judgment in Paris, they wanted a rematch really. So France thought their wines would win again, and so happens at the Wine Olympics, Trefethen won with their Chardonnay, 76, I believe it was. Their 76 Chardonnay. They won Wine Olympics in 79. And then they wanted another rematch against Trefethen. And sure enough, the 76 Chardonnay won again. So right now I have their 2018 Chardonnay. It is super cool. It's awesome. It's very kind of reminds me of Chablis with the citrus and the acidity. Has just a little bit of malolactic fermentation, I think about 4%, just enough to kind of, make it a little rounder, but not enough to where it's overly creamy, buttery. Like you don't get a lot of that. But this is awesome. And yeah, just like a Chablis Chardonnay, you would pair this with some kind of like scallop or seafood, what have you. So cheers. Also, another fun story about Trefethen is that they were the first commercial harvest for Moet Chandon. So being that they had incredible Chardonnay grapes, that was the first place that Moet Chandon did their first commercial harvest. So I did not know that, and I think that's pretty dope. So I think, the upstairs, the second level at Trefethen was all sparkling wine because that's where Moet Chandon was making their stuff. So, but I totally enjoyed the trip. Got to meet up with some cool friends. Obviously, I stayed at Trefethen. I got picked up by my boy Nick Valencia at Premier Napa Tours. If you need a ride, hit up Premier Napa Tours. We went to the Napa Valley Country Club, had lunch, and then went downtown. And there's a new champagne spot, and I love champagne. They always ask me, what's your favorite wine? What's your go-to wine? I'm like, I like everything. They're like, well, if you're on an island, that's the question. If you're on an island and you can get your favorite wine at the perfect temperature, what wine are you having? And I'm like, champagne, like straight up, because it's a positive beverage. So there's a new place downtown Napa called Be Bubbly. Owner is Aaron Riley, and it's called Be Bubbly, and it's literally all sparkling wine. That's all it is. So went there, had a couple glasses, and then headed on over to Compline because I had to meet up with a really good friend of mine, James Molesworth. He's the senior editor at Wine Spectator, and we sat down and smacked a burger and had a really good conversation. And that was just it was good to catch up because he's done a lot, helped me out and featured me in the magazine. So when I found out he was in town, that's the funny thing about social media. You could, without even conversing, you can find out what people are. And I saw he was at HDV, and I was like, dude, are you in town? He was like, yeah. I'm like, we got to link up, So the crazy thing is, so that was lunch. Then I get back home, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to cram study. But also, as I know, night before games, night before a test, night before an exam or whatever, you want to make sure you get a really good night's rest. And so, okay, 11 o'clock, I shut everything off. Turn my phone off, flip my phone so the light doesn't go on, close the curtains, did everything in my power to make sure I got a good night's rest. And let me tell you, I woke up at 2 o'clock, woke up at 3:30, woke up at 5 o'clock, woke up, and it was just like, I just kept waking up, and I'm like, gosh, dude, like, this is the worst. And all I'm thinking about is, Chardonnay, I'm thinking about Rheingau, I'm thinking about all these things because I try to learn so much in such a short time. And next thing you know, it's time to leave for my exam. And I get there, and I remember I was just so tired. And here's the crazy part. When I sat down for the exam on Sunday, I remember I went through the tasting, went through the multiple choice, and then when I got to the short run answers, I literally blacked out. I was like, wow, I don't know anything. And I actually almost dozed off. It was that bad. So that's why I'm actually upset, because I was so tired. And it does play a huge factor into that, into your performance, whether it's athletics or it's school. But happy I got through it. Like I said, I'm studying now just in case I need to do it again. But after that, I was able to go ahead and I checked out. I went to Napa Cigars. I had to get me a cigar. But then I remember over at Inglenook, they reached out like, hey, you're around. Again, they saw I was in town through social media. So I went over to Inglenook, and I was excited to go there because we've done a lot. Shout out to Casey and Kristen Sullivan, the CEO there, for already doing a cool partnership. But I went there, and I tell you what, Inglenook, this place is incredible. Francis Coppola, the filmmaker of Godfather, like just bought this place, and it is just absolutely incredible. There was so many, there's like an old school saloon there. I actually bought one of those Peaky Blinder hats. I never owned one in my life, and I saw one and I just wanted to buy it. He has a cool old school humidor. It's just a gorgeous place. All the mustards were growing in the middle of the vineyard. I put some cool pictures on my social media at Will Blackman, and yeah, sat down and just had some incredible wine and cheeses and really, really got to enjoy that. And then afterwards, headed over to Bricks, which was just unbelievable place as well too. I just love Napa. And then I just finished off I met up with some good friends, Dylan Proctor. I can not say it. I had known him for maybe 5 years now, and I still can't say this dude's name. Is it Dylan? Is it Dylan? It's not. I know it's not Dylan. Dylan Proctor. That's what. Anyhow, y'all know Dylan. Mr. Proctor, okay, from the Saw movie. He also was part of producing Uncorked, and also he's at Fantastica. Got to meet up with him. Also Garth, he's the founder of Champagne Camp and the Alchemist Group. Brian, he's a partner at Scale Y, and Artie Johnson at Lay Adashasik. Just incredible dudes, man. We had fun, had dinner, and got to meet up with them. So yeah, Napa was a quick, fun trip. I definitely want to turn around and go right back. And honestly, I'll tell you what, I could live in Napa. I would just go there and just hang out, man. I was fortunate when I was there. I stayed at Treford, and they have a bungalow, and I got to stay at the bungalow. And in the backyard, it's the whole vineyard. So literally, I would wake up, and they had an espresso machine. Okay, I have an espresso machine right next to my desk, and I am obsessed with my Nespresso. So when I got there and I saw that they had an espresso, I was through the roof excited. I could live in Napa. I just have to convince my wife. she wants to live in Hawaii. I want to live in Napa. So, but I'm gonna take them back soon. We're gonna turn around and go right back. Now I want to get into some questions. I told y'all to ask me some questions, and here we go. This question is from Raiders 401. Wait, Raiders, are you from Rhode Island? Raiders 401. You know what? I think he is. He said, who would I rather have as a free agent receiver, Galladay, Juju, or A-Rob? Right out the gate, Allen Robinson. I think he is in the same realm, maybe not as like strong and physical as like a Devontae Adams, but he reminds me of just like him in terms of like how athletic he is. Like he's known for jumping out the gym, making jump balls, 50-50 balls, and he has incredible routes. So I would take A-Rob instantly. This one's from Jessica McLuhan, Scott McLuhan's wife. She said, would I rather be a looser? Oh, look at these notes. Would you rather be a looser, flexible cornerback when playing off, or would you rather be a little more stiff but have more twitch when playing off man? You have to choose one, and if you don't have either, do you switch the player to safety and make him a core teams guy? I would rather have a who can run fast. That's the question at the end of the day. Would I rather have a looser, flexible cornerback or a stiff, I guess more twitch means he probably is the quicker athletic guy. Man, this is a quarterback league. They are throwing the ball. I need somebody who can run and cover. If you're playing corner, I need you to run and cover. Period. All right, next question. What's your favorite movie about wine? Mine is Bottle Shock. Actually, Mark, who was a producer at Bottle Shock, actually just reached out, and I think they own Napa Valley Film Festival. I think they run that. I mean, my favorite film right now is Psalm 1. I mean, for me, that's what got me into it. I love Psalm 1. That was from KP. He said, people, why don't you guys are hiding from work. No one's putting their real names. This question is from Jessica KTX. How picky are you about wine glasses? Do you like stemless glasses? You know what? I don't want to say I'm picky, but I do like stem glasses with the stem, and I like a skinny stem. But if I am having a glass of wine outside, it will be a stemless glass. Why? Because all of my glasses with stems, when I have them outside, I have broken them. So I am not going out there I'm going out there with stemless glass now. I will go outside with a tumbler, period. These glasses, I got them from Wine Enthusiasts. They're Xenology glasses. They're supposed to be some of the most durable glasses. So maybe I'll test these out and go outside. And they say if I break it, they replace it. So, okay, I got one from Paul, PO84. Pino from Santa Barbara or Willamette Valley? That's a good question. That's a tough question. I don't want to upset anybody. You know what? Right now, I've been having some really awesome Pinots from Santa Barbara, from like Melville and from Channon. Those two. And yes, I'm being biased because they both were in the Wine MVP subscription box, but I like those two. Here's a two-part question. Will the Panthers work out a trade for Deshaun Watson? I can't even speak right now. Will the Panthers work out a trade for Deshaun Watson? I have no idea. I think I saw Peter Schrager. He had a loaded offer. It was like 2 first-round picks. It was Christian McCaffrey. It was so many things for Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I don't think he leaves. How about that? He may sound disgruntled, what have you. I do not think he leaves. I think they're going to have a plan in place to help him out. All right, I'm going to read one more question. My favorite, this is from James Roth 8. My favorite football memory from Boston College. My favorite football memory from Boston College. I don't know. Maybe I think probably my first game. I think my first game on primetime television, it was on ESPN2 versus Stanford. And I was so excited to see what it was like to play in an arena like that. I was a 17-year-old freshman. Yeah, which is crazy. I didn't turn 18 till October, and they threw me out there in the Wolves. They said, go out there and you're returning kicks. And so I remember, going there and just I was so excited for that game and to finally be on TV. So I would say, my first primetime game was legit. So as I take another sip of this Chardonnay, did I even get into the notes of the Chardonnay? Oh, yeah, I did. High acidity, like Chablis. There you go. I did get into it. So what am I up to now? Well, right now, again, for those who don't know or who are following me, what have you, I actually do combine training as an NFL combine trainer. I get contracted by agents to do some training and coaching for them. And I got 2 guys. I got one, they're both from University of Washington, Elijah Molden and Keith Taylor, both defensive backs. And I pretty much just give them the whole gambit of what it is, preparing and getting ready for the NFL. We do everything from classroom work to field work to mental training, all those things. Just because I really enjoy coaching. I like helping players. I love giving answers. Especially, I played football from ages 6 to 30, 35 years old, right? So I have so much knowledge to help people with. So I feel like I wouldn't be doing any justice to help people. That's why I love doing broadcasting too, because I have a chance to share my knowledge. Why did I not go into coaching right after retiring? I just didn't want to. That's all. I didn't, after playing for, over a decade, I didn't want to put those hours back in, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it. They have a fellowship program for the NFL. It's almost like an internship for coaching, and I think the application opens up next week. And I am going to submit an application just because I am curious. Will it get in the way with my wine stuff? No, but I am curious. I want to know what it's like to be on the other side. So I'm going to submit application. I think you can pick 5 teams, and my 5 teams, I'm looking at maybe Raiders, Dallas, Rams, Chargers, maybe Jets, maybe Green Bay. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. And I did a little bit of high school coaching out here, too. I used to coach at a high school here in Southern California, and I truly enjoy that. But I also coach in the 7-on-7 circuit, too, which brings me to my next point. We're gonna end with this topic, but obviously that video has been going around with Cam Newton and the kid, going back and forth. And, some people were going off on the kid saying he was wrong. Some people were going off on Cam Newton saying that he shouldn't be going to a kid like that. But what's funny is, like, these kids, well, I'm not saying anybody's right, but these kids will try you. And in this competition and in those environments, especially the 7-on-7 circuit, like, I do have fun. I have fun with the kids. I don't go at anybody. First of all, I don't take anything personal. I'm not a sensitive guy like that. And because there are some games where a kid will come at me and talk smack, but it's like all love, And actually, a prime example. I was coaching recently in this. Actually, it was a tackle football tournament in Southern California, and this kid came to the sideline and like during the play and kind of pushed one of our players. And so I went and tried to and then a mini scuffle broke out and I pulled the kid away. And he looked at me and he was like, get the F off me. Like, back up. And I'm thinking in my mind, I was like, this kid serious? So while he was out there, I was just totally messing with him. I was like, you're not going to make a play here? I'm like, you haven't made a play all game. And all the kids, they know me. Like, Coach Blackman is always going to mess with you because at the end of the day, they know what I do for them. Like, I help kids get scholarships. I help kids get notice. I actually train some kids. Like, I'm all about giving and helping these kids. But what was crazy was there was a parent who was part of the chain crew, and he was going off on me like, don't you be talking to kids like that? Don't you be talking to kids like that? And I'm thinking, first of all, I didn't know he was talking to me because I know my intentions. My intentions were not like to come at the kid crazy because one, I'm the type of player that goes after parents like, dude, you need to fall back. That's what I do. And also too, I like I said, I do a lot for these kids. I help them out. And so he kept saying that and I looked and he's looking at me. He's like, yeah, you like, don't be talking to kids like that. And I went over to him. I was like, bro, I said, it's not even like that. And he wouldn't even let me get a word in to even explain. And I understand where he was coming from because like he doesn't know the context. So he was like, how most people are in terms of defending the kid who was talking to Cam. It was like, yeah, you don't talk to kids like that. But I was like, no, it was just back and forth. I didn't take it personal. And I totally mess with the kids, try to get inside their mind just from a competitive standpoint. I don't really try to break down kids and try to hurt their feelings and disrespect them. Like, that's not me at all. So it was interesting because when I tried to explain it to him, he's like, oh, okay, well, if he was being disrespectful, I was like, no, he wasn't being disrespectful. He was just, he probably didn't know it was me at the time. Because after the game, the kid came up to me and he was like, hey, coach, it's all love, man. It's all love. I didn't mean to do that. I was like, yeah, it's all good. Like, again, these kids know how I am. But at the same time, it was interesting for even that kid to even say anything to Cam at all. Like, I never met an NFL player until I was in the NFL, I believe. I didn't. I was so curious. I love football so much that even if I got around a college football player, I was just in awe. I was just so excited. And it almost makes me feel like the value, the celebrity status, the untouchable status of the NFL player may be diminished. It's not like that anymore. Like, guys are, they look at Cam Newton as an NFL player. They don't look at him as, a national champion, a Heisman Trophy winner, an MVP. Like, they didn't look at him like that. They know he did it, but it wasn't of value to them. If they probably saw someone like, I don't know, who's Destroying, right, on YouTube or the social media star. If they saw him, they probably would have lost their mind or freaked out. And I think it's just different. And then I laugh because even, my son, he likes football. I'm not going to say he loved. He likes football. He played it. But I remember just he would always go to our locker room. And I remember he was just playing with, like, RG3. And it was just, RG3 was just a dude to him. Again, Heisman Trophy winner, all these things. And I could just only imagine, like, if I was a kid and I got to meet anybody, I would have lost it. I would have totally lost it because I was so curious. I felt like it was so untouchable. And so I was caught off guard when I'm like, gosh, he's trying Cam and calling him a free agent. And, right, yeah, Cam turned around telling him I'm rich, like I'm good. Cam did get a little sensitive. However you want to take it, Cam did get a little sensitive, which is why even in the video they showed of him talking to the kid, he was telling the coach that they squashed it. And I was like, what's there to squash? He's a kid. Like, it wasn't even, I didn't even think it was that serious, but it did end up being serious because everyone has all these opinions, but that's just what it is. But again, as a kid, if I had an opportunity to be around somebody like that, I would have totally picked up. Even in our neighborhood, when there was a popular high school football star, I just wanted to get to know the dude, and I would have asked him a ton of questions. I was like that majority of my life until I became an NFL player myself. I remember the Patriots, they did a McDonald's commercial in our locker room, and Troy Brown came in the locker room and brought his Super Bowl rings. and he was, he probably ate like 40 hamburgers for this commercial, but I thought I wanted to watch the commercial. It was so cool to see Troy Brown in our locker room. It was cool to see anybody in our locker room. Even when Will Green came back, from playing for the Browns to visit Boston College, I was excited. I was excited to see any NFL player that came back. And then I remember training for the Combine. I got to learn from Ike Taylor. Like, he helped me out. I was excited to meet him. And then obviously, I got to work out with Prime, and that was different. I was like, this is Prime. I get to work out with Prime. Okay. So yeah, like I said, man, it's just different nowadays. The coolest football players are the ones that are actually producing on the field, but also have a strong influencer type of presence, like an Odell. Like, Odell is, to me, he's still the biggest rock star, injured or not. He's still the biggest rock star. Juju has an incredible, influencer social media presence, and Cam is just different, And also Cam, he hasn't done much in a while, but that's what I mean. It wouldn't have mattered to me if he had or he hadn't done anything for a while. He already did it. So in this day and age, it's kind of like, are you still relevant right now? Like, doesn't matter, Like, I always, before any interview, I coin, I played 12 years in the NFL. I won a Super Bowl, which I think is absolutely wild, in my opinion, because that's so difficult to do. But it's like, these kids don't know who anybody is unless you're doing something right now, So that's my take on that. And again, I had to say something because I did put something out saying like, oh, the media blew this out of proportion, or they made it bigger than it should be. So I had to put my 2 cents in for the media. But anyhow, again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go and get this Chardonnay at Trefethen. It's $38. Premium winery. They are known for their Chardonnay. They also have incredible other wines. They have a Cabernet. They have the Halo, which is an unreal, amazing blend. And they have don't forget to get their Dragon Tooth. A lot of people love their Dragon Tooth wine. Really, really outstanding, amazing wines. Incredible family, rich history. Like, all the things you want in a winery is there. And again, thank you to them for hosting me. Also, you can go to willblackman.com. I have all my stuff there. So this podcast is there. You can go ahead and, join the wine club and subscribe. All my other social media stuff is on there. Go to willblackman.com. And again, thank you again. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and buy some wine. Peace out.